Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com's Facebook and on WTIM TV YouTube. Brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I'm here in studio with the Master Gardeners. That includes Sandy Klein. Great to have you here, Sandy.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And also Gwen Podesky. Great to have you back.
Hi. Great to be here.
All right. Well, the calendar flipped into September, and that doesn't mean that it's the end of anything for gardening. It's really just the beginning.
It's always just the beginning. You're always beginning something new in a garden, I think.
Yeah.
Really do.
Well, what are you paying attention to in your garden right now?
Well, just fall cleanup with the vegetable gardens. Mm-hmm. And then
and it's good to do that and get that stuff out of there so you don't carry diseases over till next year.
And getting your soil tilled and then I just dug my irises and clipped them all back, and I'll be replanting them now since we got a nice rain and that soil is going to be easier to work with. Mm-hmm. And
this is a good time to do peonies, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say, and the next thing is to cut down my peonies.
And then also if you want to try to either divide them or move them, this is a good time to do that.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that we've actually not this year, but last year we had peonies at a sale that we had dug the fall before and then put in pots and sunk the pots, and they were beautiful plants when we sold them. So that, and that actually you can still do daylilies. This is a good time to do daylilies. It's a good time to clean that kind of stuff up anyway. Anything, I think, don't you, that's bloomed in the summer and is really looking ratty, you want to enjoy what's there in the fall. So you clean that summer stuff up, and then you're going to enjoy your fall stuff more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Taking care of the end of the season is always part of starting a new season. And what are some of the things that you are really paying attention to and that can maybe start growing here in September, or is this kind of starting to wind down as far as growth?
There are things like, of course, you'll see the mums in the nurseries, and if you've been lucky enough to have the what they call truly hardy mums, they will have come back. And if you've cut them off through the summer periodically up until the 1st of July, you'll start to get some blooms. But I've got fall anemones in the garden, and that's a nice plant. If you find something called Japanese anemone or fall anemone in the nurseries, those bloom about now, and they are a real nice addition. They're a taller perennial. They do like part shade conditions, so that's a good thing to do.
Are they colorful?
Yeah, mine are. I've got a dark pink one and a lighter pink color, and then a white one.
So what's the turtle thing?
Pink turtle head. Sandy was asking about pink turtle head.
Mine's just about ready to open up.
And that kind of looks like it looks like what it is. It's almost like a snapdragon, though, too. If you think about how a snapdragon flower looks on a stalk,
it's a conversation piece, really, I think, because it's so different.
Yeah,
so
and
different.
I mean, it's nice because it's this really stunning sort of intense pink at this time of the year when you might not be expecting it.
And my mums are about to bloom,
right?
Almost there.
Right. And do you have any asters?
I do.
Okay,
they're not in bloom.
Yeah, asters are really slow this year. Even the ones we have asters in the rain garden at the extension office.
Yeah,
really slow this year. I don't know what is the story with that, because usually by now especially there, because they are on that south wall and they're very intensely hot. It's very intensely hot there. Take my word for it. I've weeded that area a few times. And they're usually blooming by now. So I don't know if they got I don't know if we had something or a late start or something. I don't know. Do they look like they're going to bloom?
Mine don't even look like they're going to bloom.
Huh. That's curious.
I don't know if I've got them in. I might have them in the wrong place.
Right. I don't know. I just haven't seen any. I didn't even see any. I just came back from the Master Gardener conference in Tinley Park, and I didn't even see any like along the roadsides. Usually if you know what you're looking for in some of the wildlife plantings or along the interstates, you'll see them, and I didn't even see them there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just odd.
Something I wanted to ask you about, I don't want to dive into the weeds on this topic, But I wanted to ask you a little bit about what you should do if you see, this is kind of diving off a little bit off the trail, but what you should do if you see an invasive species of any kind, whether that's an insect or a plant or anything. What should you do? Obviously, there's lots of different types, and that's where I don't really want to dive into it, but what should you do if you see something that's invasive?
Well, I really think that the one thing to do is to certainly destroy it to the degree you can before it blooms and sets seed. But you have to remember things like the teasel that you see along the road also grow by rhizomes, and it is also sort of semi-poisonous to the stuff around it. So it outcompetes the plants that are around it. So if you can dig it out, I know I've seen a lot, we saw a lot in bloom of that miserable poison hemlock. And boy, it's just along the railroad tracks. So I would say the most important thing on any of that is to stop the seed process. It always drives me crazy. And I'm gonna be a real grouch here when I watch people wait for foxtail or something like that, that it gets itself up there, it blooms, it sets its seed, and then they go out and spray with Roundup. And that's not helpful because Roundup kills the plant, but it doesn't kill the seeds.
I didn't know that part, actually.
So you're really just giving it a nice, new, clear area to grow in next year if you leave all those seeds there. So, and that's the other part of it is dispose of those seeds. Somehow get it so that they don't put them in your compost.
Right. The reason I bring it up too is Andrew came in not too long ago and he's talking about a lot of different invasive species, plants and otherwise. And he also said, maybe bring it into the extension office and you guys can also take a look at it and confirm that it is before you rip it out. And
well, and I will tell you that we just got a whole new box of the Managing Invasive Plants booklets that are they've been really popular this year at the farmers market tent. So those are available again from the office. So if you, and that does, I think, give you some information on how to go about destroying, like, with the poison or the bush honeysuckle, to go through and cut it and paint it with a brush killer type herbicide and things. So that it gives you all kinds of good ways to deal with things. So there is a good booklet and it's available. It's in the office too.
Okay. You mentioned how you were out on the farmer's market, or you've been out on the farmer's market throughout the farmer's market season. I believe it's twice a month. Have you been out there this month? Have the Master Gardeners been out?
They have been. They were there on what is this? Well, they will not be there. This Saturday will be their last Saturday.
Excellent. Okay, so it would have been last weekend that you guys were out there.
We should have been, except we didn't do it for the Labor Day weekend. So we were there in August, but we were there twice in August, but we skipped Labor Day weekend and we're going to do the September 17th.
A lot of people skipped Labor Day weekend.
Right. So anyway, it's
I know I did.
It will be there, but that's a great place to come and just, and I kind of,
there's a lot of information we have.
Yeah.
And it's a big
free information.
Free information.
Right. And if you get, if you get the information from us, then you can go buy, right now it's butternut squash and pumpkins and other farm produce. So it's a lot of fun. Those mornings are fun to me.
Going a little bit back to the horticulture side, I see you have a little bit of a flyer in front of you. Are those some programs coming up here soon?
We have a couple yet that are here in September, the day after tomorrow. No, wait a minute. September 14th. Is that Thursday?
Yes.
Thursday.
Yes, that's
Thursday this month or this week. We're having but
I beg your pardon. It's actually Wednesday.
Okay, it's
September
Wednesday.
14th is Wednesday.
Wednesday, September 14th, Macoupin County is having fall tree planting. And so that's going to be a kind of a refresher course, because this is actually when trees, speaking of fall activities.
I was going to ask if this is a great time to plant a tree.
It is the best time because it it's not trying to get the water and maintain that foliage, and it gets a chance for its roots to grow until hard frost. And then in September, starting September 19th, these are going to be all at 5:30 to 7:30. It's down in Macoupin County. It's how to do a rain garden, how to put in, if you've got an area of your garden that stands water after a rain garden is a great way to manage that. and depending on whether it's in sun or whether it's in shade. And again, we have some pamphlets and things on rain gardening that we have at the farmers market. That one does cost $30, but it is for different sessions.
2, 3.
Because they are September 19th and
5.
21st, and then September 26th, 28th, and October 1st. So it's 5. Okay, so there are 5.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of opportunity to do. So
yeah.
Let's talk more about some of the things you're paying attention to in the world of gardening. We have master gardeners, Gwen Podesky and Sandy Klein here on the WTIM Morning Show. More from them after this short break. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first.
WTIM. St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Over the years, it has meant the Gas House Gang, Stan the Man, Lou Brock, Bob Gibson, Simba headed to the Hall, The Wizard, Big Mac, Yachty, and Waino. All of those names, and they provided so many memories. St. Louis Cardinals baseball, most importantly, has meant championship baseball. The tradition continues in 2022. We'll be describing every play right here on the radio. St. Louis Cardinals baseball.
Cardinal Baseball, heard on WTIM, your information station. The Big 870 across central Illinois, 96.1 FM in Christian County, 107.5 FM in Shelby County, and 107.9 in the Pena-Nokomis area. It's brought to you by Taylorville Memorial Hospital, Siegert Lee's Insurance, Jennifer Franklin and Brian Keel, the Real Estate Group, and the Christian County YMCA.
Cardinal baseball across central Illinois on the Big 870 WTIM.
This is Lance Vonderheide with People's Bank and Trust, where customers have one business banker who understands their business and provides the right financial services to achieve their financial goals. Your business banker is your single source for all your financial needs, from cash management to lines of credit, from mortgages to equipment loans and everything in between. Call me at 888-PBT-1954. At People's Bank and Trust, we put people first. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm Bob Adcock with Circle A Land and Livestock, and this is my John Deere. We've been with Sloan Implement since my father started farming, my grandfather started farming. They are a family business that's been around for generations, and that's very important to us. The personnel, the customer service that they provide, it's maybe not, you could say Sloan's first, but they put customers first. And that's why I think Sloan's first.
The Shelby County Economic Development Corporation aims to foster, promote, and stimulate economic development, from keeping existing industry and retail businesses successful and thriving to attracting new investment in Shelby County. The Shelby County Economic Development Corporation is here to help your business grow. It also sponsors job fairs to fill positions at existing employers and encourages future entrepreneurs in the Shelby County CEO program. Find out more on the Shelby County Economic Development Corporation by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Jim Stepp, owner of Central Illinois Asphalt in Taylorville, helps protect your driveway or parking lot with recycled asphalt and environmentally friendly sealer. Let his 40 years of experience work for you at a reasonable price. Click his icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
The Shelby County Economic Development Corporation aims to foster, promote, and stimulate economic development. They're here to help your business grow. Find out more on the Shelby County Economic Development Corporation by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Glad to have you along. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. I'm here in studio with Master Gardeners Sandy Klein and Gwen Podesky. And, well, they mentioned it a little bit before break that right now is the perfect time to plant a tree. So I wanted to ask them, and Sandy or Gwen, either one, what are some things to remember when you're planting a new tree?
Well, I would say always the hole should be wide as opposed to deep. You want to make it wider than, and that tree needs to, you need to make sure that when you plant that tree, you don't want it going in the ground like a telephone post. Oh, yes.
Number one.
Go ahead, Sandy.
Number
I'm sorry.
two is make that whole. Number one is call Julie.
Right.
And
811 before you dig.
That's right. Before you dig.
Yes. Make sure you're
not running into.
Yeah. And make sure that where you are planting it is also, if you're thinking, oh, I want to put it on the boulevard and those electric lines are right above your head, don't do that. Find another place in the garden for that tree and
to grow and to spread.
Right.
It's about thinking about how that tree will look in 20 to 50 years.
Exactly. And realizing that try to find and we're going to have a new, we've got urban tree ID booklets too, that I just brought home a whole box full of that have got the profile of the tree. So look at a profile of that tree if you can and see what it's going to look like. Is it going to do what you want it to? Is it going to do that? Don't think you're going to plant a Colorado blue spruce as a nice shade tree, because you're not going to want to sit under or walk under a Colorado blue spruce, trust me. But I mean, also think about trees that are adapted to our climate. Try to go with natives if you can. Try not to do invasive trees, and there are invasive trees. Sure. Tree of Heaven, of course, is terrible, and the Callery pears are not a good choice. So there are trees that are going to give you those kinds of effects in the landscape without going to those. Try to find something that is suited to the site. And like I said, remember, it's the mature size, as you said.
Right.
It's the mature size.
And you mentioned to me a little bit too, how Illinois is very blessed in that you can grow just about any type of tree in the state, but also obviously there are some that you shouldn't plant. Right.
There's some you should not plant, and there are some that are not going to do as well. Speaking of Colorado blue spruce, they don't do well here.
Okay.
We don't make them happy. We've got too much humidity, too much heat.
They like
with
the
humidity.
arid, high mountain.
Exactly. We just are not good places
for
that. So,
well, that's a little bit of, it's a lot of information. And I know that you guys are always helping people, and you guys have the help desk for that. So let's plug that.
The help desk is still in operation through the month of September. So give us a call or come in and visit us at the extension office, or call us at 217-287-7246. And we're there from 9 o'clock to 11 on Thursday mornings.
All right. You also, speaking of trees, have a tree tour, or rather a tree walk, coming up here pretty soon. Details.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to Cahillas's Arboretum, which is on Illinois Route 16 near, kind of between Pana and Rosamond, a little bit closer to Rosamond. And we're going to do Linda's planted over the years a number of tree species. And so we're going to kind of give people a chance. And again, if you're shopping, even October or November is not too late to plant the trees. It's a chance for you to see what are these going to look like in the and if you have a child who is doing a leaf project or something, we are certainly hoping this one is going to be on October 22nd. It's a Saturday from 2 to 4. And we are certainly hoping to see families out as well as just master gardeners or gardeners. So that will be a fun time. And we will be having some more information on that.
Okay.
And then I've also want to give a plug to the Oak Ridge Cemetery, the Springfield Oak Ridge Cemetery's tree tour, which is October 15th. Again, that's a Saturday from 1 to 4. It's their 8th annual, and it's sort of like a cemetery walk combined with a tree tour.
And that's a big cemetery,
It's a big cemetery. It's where Lincoln is buried.
Right.
So you can have your chance to go rub Lincoln's nose and also learn a little bit more about some of the historic trees in that cemetery. It was one of the first, it was just beginning to be used as a public cemetery when Lincoln was assassinated. And it's got a lot of historic trees and historic figures in it, and the trees are connected to them. It was designed more as a garden when believe it or not, I had a hard time believing this, but people used to take picnics and have picnics in cemeteries because they were such nice parks. And actually our own Oak Hill Cemetery here in Taylorville, I think has a nice park-like setting. It's a fun walk. It's a fun place to walk.
Sandy, thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
WTIM